The entire nation of Japan wanted this man's head. Booed relentlessly by the crowd, the notorious Mexican boxer Luis Nery had destroyed the legacy of Japanese national hero Shinsuke Yamanaka in a manner that Japanese fans considered unforgivable. In their eyes, Nery was not only a villain but also a cheat, an outsider who had come to their soil, broken their trust, and humiliated a legend. The scandal began in 2017, when the two first met in the ring. Nery, then the WBC Bantamweight champion, overwhelmed Yamanaka with aggressive, punishing combinations, ultimately winning by TKO. The result might have been hailed as a great performance, except for one fact: Nery tested positive for a banned performance-enhancing drug shortly afterward. The revelation sent shockwaves through Japan. Yamanaka was more than a boxer. He was an icon. Having held the WBC Bantamweight title from 2011 to 2017, he had amassed 12 successful defenses, one shy of tying the national record. His reign was the fourth longest in the history of the Bantamweight division, a testament to his skill, durability, and championship mentality. For millions of Japanese fans, he was a symbol of clean, disciplined competition. The news that Nery's victory had been tainted by a failed drug test was nothing less than a national insult. Days after the fight, the WBC confirmed the positive test but announced that the result would stand, claiming the banned substance was likely ingested through contaminated food. This explanation did little to ease the outrage in Japan, but it set the stage for a rematch. The rematch, however, turned into an even greater controversy. Welcomed back to Japan for a second fight, Nery committed yet another offense before even stepping into the ring. He failed to make weight, by a margin of 3 pounds. In boxing, that amount is enormous, giving the heavier fighter a significant physical advantage. Despite the violation, the fight went ahead. In the ring, Nery again imposed his will on Yamanaka. He dropped the Japanese veteran multiple times, and some observers accused him of using dirty tactics, including holding Yamanaka's arm to land another knockdown. The bout ended with Yamanaka on the canvas and the referee waving it off. It was a brutal and decisive defeat. Yamanaka, who had intended the fight as a chance at redemption, instead announced his retirement on the spot. What happened after the bell only deepened the bitterness. Rather than showing humility or respect, Nery celebrated flamboyantly, posing and smiling, with no acknowledgement of the heartbreak he had just caused an entire arena full of fans. In Japan, such behavior was viewed not just as arrogance but as disrespect toward the sport itself. The incident permanently damaged his reputation there. The Japanese Boxing Commission reacted swiftly, banning Nery from ever competing in Japan again. The WBC suspended him indefinitely for failing to make weight. For most, that would have been the end of the story. But it wasn't. Nery had unknowingly awakened a storm in the form of Naoya, the monster Inoue, a rising Japanese star who had idolized Yamanaka. Inoue, already known for his knockout power and technical brilliance, took the events personally. While Nery's ban kept the two apart for years, fate would eventually bring them into the same division. By 2024, Inoue had climbed to the super bantamweight division, capturing all 4 major titles and establishing himself as the undisputed king. Then came the announcement that shook Japanese boxing fans. Nery would be Inoue's mandatory challenger. After years in exile, the ban was lifted, not as an act of forgiveness, but as an opportunity for public reckoning. The fight was scheduled for May 6, 2024, at the legendary Tokyo Dome. Over 50,000 fans would attend, with millions more watching across Japan. The atmosphere was not one of sportsmanship but of vengeance. Nery entered the bout with an intimidating record, 35 wins and just a single loss. His nickname, Pantera, reflected his predatory style. Known for his vicious left hand and an 80% knockout ratio, he was far from an easy opponent. The final pre-fight face-off between the two was tense, the air thick with mutual disdain. When Nery was introduced on fight night, some fans greeted him with middle fingers, a sign of the deep grudge still held against him. From the opening bell, the fight was electric. Inoue came out with sharp combinations and a menacing right hand, determined to impose himself. But in a shocking twist, the villain struck first. Nery landed a perfectly timed left hook in close quarters, sending Inoue to the canvas for the first time in his professional career. The Tokyo Dome gasped in unison. The knockdown wasn't just a surprise, it was a threat to the entire narrative of the fight. The crowd, expecting a one-sided dismantling, suddenly saw their hero in real danger. Inoue rose quickly, his expression calm but his eyes burning. The second round began with renewed intensity. The monster pressed forward, looking to even the score. He found his moment with a clean, powerful shot that dropped Nery. The arena erupted, the earlier fear replaced by roaring approval. By the third round, Inoue's rhythm had returned. His punches flowed like water, precise and devastating. Nery fought back hard, but each exchange tilted further in Inoue's favor. What followed was a masterclass in controlled aggression. Inoue's jab dictated the pace, while his right hand repeatedly pierced Nery's guard. The Mexican tried to taunt, to rattle the champion's composure, but Inoue remained unshaken. By the fifth round, Nery's movement slowed noticeably. Inoue seized the moment, unleashing combinations with extra torque. The impact was visible. Nery's knees wobbled under the barrage. Still, he refused to quit, even resorting to clinching and questionable tactics to buy time. But the monster was not to be denied. In the sixth round, Inoue delivered the finishing sequence, a brutal uppercut followed by a right hand that folded Nery to the canvas. The referee waved it off as the crowd erupted in cathartic celebration. The Japanese public had gotten exactly what they had waited years for, a decisive, humiliating defeat for the man who had disgraced their hero. Nery had been knocked down 3 times and completely dismantled, his will broken. For Inoue, the victory was more than just another title defense, it was personal closure, a fulfillment of a long-standing vow. The performance elevated his star power in Japan even further. But there was little time to rest. By September 2024, he was scheduled to face another dangerous opponent, Ireland's TJ Doheny. Doheny, a former IBF Super Bantamweight champion, had quietly built a reputation as a formidable puncher. With a 77% knockout ratio, he posed a legitimate threat. He was also undefeated in 4 previous fights in Japan, giving him confidence heading into the bout. The match was set for the Ariake Arena in Tokyo, with Inoue's undisputed titles once again on the line. From the moment Inoue walked out, his demeanor was different, colder, more menacing, as if embracing the role of a villain determined to dismantle his challenger. Doheny, perhaps trying to unsettle him, started the fight with a cocky posture, hands low, daring Inoue to attack. It was a mistake. Inoue immediately abandoned his jab-heavy approach and began firing right hands with bad intentions. Doheny's power was real, and he tried to catch Inoue with his signature left hook. But Inoue's timing was razor-sharp. As the rounds progressed, the Japanese champion began countering Doheny's counters, turning each attempted offense into an opportunity to land clean, thudding shots. Doheny, once so confident, began absorbing punches from all angles. Still, he pressed forward, unwilling to fold easily. By the middle rounds, Inoue's body attack had become the defining weapon. The thuds echoed through the arena as he targeted Doheny's ribs with surgical precision. The Irishman's reactions grew more pained with each shot. At one point, he complained to the referee, perhaps hoping for a break, but Inoue pressed on relentlessly. Then came the turning point. At the start of round 7, Inoue unleashed a furious combination to the body. One particularly vicious left hand landed just above Doheny's hip. The effect was immediate. He grimaced, clutched his back, and took a knee. The referee began the count, but Doheny could barely stand, his mobility gone. Inoue had quite literally broken his resistance. Later, Doheny would explain that the punch had caused his right leg to go numb, making it impossible to continue. The fight was waved off, and Inoue was declared the winner by technical knockout. Doheny's injury, a muscle tear near his hip, was a testament to the destructive precision of Inoue's body punching. The victory marked another brutal chapter in the monster's career, reinforcing his reputation as perhaps the most complete and dangerous boxer in the world. Inoue's back-to-back demolitions of two powerful challengers, one a deeply personal grudge match, the other a test against a dangerous puncher, solidified his position at the top of the sport. His ability to adapt, to recover from adversity, and to finish fights with clinical violence left fans and analysts in awe. For Japan, these victories were not just sporting triumphs. They were moments of national pride, etched into the country's rich boxing history, and in the end, the saga of Nery and Inoue was more than just a story of two fighters. It was a tale about legacy, honor, and the enduring memory of a fallen champion. Yamanaka's career may have ended in heartbreak, but through Inoue, Japanese fans found a measure of redemption. The monster had avenged his idol, reclaimed the nation's dignity, and in doing so, cemented himself as one of the sport's all-time greats.